Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching the Political Vigilante. Well, Jeff Bezos has been trying to sue NASA because he's a rich crybaby. It spent $5.1 billion to fly his dumb dick rocket around the planet for 4 minutes. Some of that money, by the way, was your tax dollars. Doesn't that make you feel good? A billionaire needed your tax dollars to subsidize his stupid 4-minute space flight that the corporate media just jerked him off over. Doesn't that make you mad? Well, there's always we gotta look for the wins when we get them. He lost his little crybaby rich kid lawsuit. He's a spoiled, stupid little crybaby rich kid. That's what he is. Blue Origin loses lawsuit against the federal government over NASA's human lunar lander contracts. A month-long struggle comes to an end. I'm sorry, you bald little spoiled crybaby. I want to fly around the moon. He comes up with a dumb cowboy hat. Everyone's paid to high-five him. You're not an astronaut. Like, remember when an astronaut meant something? Like the brightest men and women this country could produce, and not everyone got to be an astronaut. Like they took the top 1% of every naval pilots, Marine Corps pilots, Air Force pilots. They took the top. To be a fighter pilot in our armed forces is really difficult. And they took the top of the top 1% of the top 1%. And the people that went into space, they weren't all fighter pilots, but they were like brilliant physicists with PhDs and advanced degrees. Jeff Bezos just got to buy his way up there, dumb rich kid that he is. Here's his little crybaby tweet. Not the decision we wanted, but we respect the court's judgment and wish full success for NASA and SpaceX on the contract. Oh, great. More of our tax dollars are getting spent so then him and Elon Musk can have a dick measuring contest. Sorry, a cock rocket measuring contest. God. The judgment puts an end to the Blue Origin's months-long quest to receive government funding to develop the company's lander called Blue Moon for NASA. So that's the core of this lawsuit. The second most wealthy man in the world, in the history of the human race, needs your and my tax dollars to fund his stupid thing. This is what happens when you privatize everything. This country's space program used to be about science and space exploration and the betterment of mankind. I'm sorry, I really like the moon landing in 1969. My mom was pregnant with me when that happened. I thought that was a pretty big event. I was like, wow, this is all of my like Star Trek, sci-fi, like this is how we're going to advance the human race. And there were some people back then, if you watch this, there's a really good documentary called The Summer of Soul, where they had this big like Woodstock type festival in Harlem. And they interviewed a lot of black people and the moon landing happened during that festival. And they're like, yeah, we're spending all this money to go to the moon. Well, there's people here that are hungry, which is a legitimate complaint to make back in 1969 and an even more legitimate complaint to make now. Jeff Bezos, the guy that could single-handedly end homelessness in America and still remain a billionaire. His stupid competitor, Elon Ratface Musk, the bald jackass and that rat face, they're just rat-faced maggots, these billionaires. He could end, either one of them could end homelessness, put everyone on the streets into a home, give them health care, give them mental health, give them job training, drug treatment, whatever they need, clothes, food, and get them back on the streets. And if they did it like they did in Finland, which has a housing first program, they would have an 80% success rate because that's the success rate in Finland. But instead, we're wasting money on this crap. And is this going to space going to make, are we going to come up with some technology that's going to, is it going to like, oh, we're going to reverse climate change? Because if that's what this was doing, then maybe I could like get on board. Like, okay, oh, we're going up in space and realizing we can change the weather patterns. Because I've heard that there is some research being done to that regard. I'm not that knowledgeable on that, but maybe, oh, if that's what this was about. Oh, wow. So regions that are having drought, we could put something in the atmosphere to cause rain. Great. Where it's flooding, we can okay. I don't know. But like, if that's what this is about, it's not. It's about war and just Silicon Valley spending obscene amounts of money for just more useless technology that we don't need. Is this what are we going to come up from this? Another app for another dumb piece of software that we don't need? Oh, now your refrigerator has a robot computer on it that can tell you. Oh, shut up. Just open the door. Like, what? Blue Origin had hoped to be involved in NASA's ambitious plan to return humans to the moon, an initiative called the Artemis program. Bezos wrote a letter to NASA Administrator Bill Nelson proposing to build Blue Moon for a discount of $2 billion over the next 2 years to bridge the funding shortfall. The extra money would have been provided by Bezos himself. Oh, wow. What an honorable man. You should pay for all of it, you shithead. The federal government should be giving all of its citizens health care and free college and student debt forgiveness rather than this crap. Stupid law. How much of our tax dollars were wasted on this dumb court case? NASA surprised everyone by awarding just one contract to SpaceX. That's Elon Musk's company. So if you think this isn't about billionaires having some stupid fight, Branson takes his weird shark teeth and his hair plugs up there. He's in space, and then Jeff Bezos is in space. And Elon Musk wants to go up there. If you think it isn't just about billionaires whipping them out and measuring them, look no further than this tweet. You have been judged. This is in reference to Bezos losing the court case. So these rich assholes are just using our courts and our tax dollars to have their stupid fight. And just in case you think Elon Musk is cool, you like his cool cars and everything. Oh, by the way, he gets tax dollars. Elon Musk's growing empire is fueled by $4.9 billion in government subsidies. So whenever you hear the term self-made billionaire, nope. They're made with our tax dollars. You're a billionaire off of getting government subsidies, tax dollars, or tax breaks, meaning they don't have to pay taxes. These rich assholes. You and I have to pay taxes. If you're off by $100 on your tax return, the IRS is going to crawl up your ass. But these shitbirds get to do whatever the hell they want. So when you hear that self-made billionaire crap, it's nonsense. They became billionaires by exploiting labor and then using their money to buy influence with politicians who are corrupt maggots, just like the billionaires. We need to stop revering billionaires. We need to make them terrified. They need to be afraid that their heads are going to be removed from their bodies, so much so that they start giving their money away and moving into little 2-bedroom condos rather than big sprawling mansions and having $150 worth of real estate or whatever Jeff Bezos has. So I'm glad this shithead lost. I hope they all lose. These billionaires are bags of shit. And if you're making $30, $40, $50,000 a year and you support, even if you make $100,000 a year, even when I hear people, like when I hear people making $40,000 a year defending billionaires, I'm like, it's hilarious to me what Stockholm syndrome you have. But even somebody who's like making $500,000 a year and they're like, don't be so hard on the billionaires, or some Hollywood celebrity that's like, not be so mean on billionaires. Even if you make $1 million a year, let me break it down to you. If you make $10 million a year, you are still closer to the working poor, to the poverty level in America than you are billionaires. You want to know how I know that? Because I have this thing in my brain called math. So you have $10 million. You are $9,975,000 away from making $25,000 a year, which is the working poor in America. Yeah, that's where you're barely getting by. That's where you're in debt to your eyeballs. That's where you can't afford health insurance. And when something does happen, even if you have some shitty insurance, you're going to be stuck with a medical bill, and you're going to be one of the millions of Americans that the number one cause of bankruptcy is medical debt. That's what you get for you're only $9,975,000 away. You are $990 million away from being a billionaire having $1 billion. Do you see how far away you are from the billionaire ruling class that you think you're a part of and need to defend? You're some young millennial Gen Z and you want to work in tech and you think you're going to be a billionaire. No, you're not. You're not going to be a billionaire. They're not going to let you be one. Unless you are, have the sociopath brain, unless you have that and you just like cutthroat, but then you're part of the problem. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in class warfare. You need to understand that. It's all about the money. Follow the money, connect the dots, get the truth. That's why big pharmaceutical companies don't want to give the vaccine, the COVID vaccine, to poor countries because they can't make money off of it. Whoops, shouldn't bring that up. That ruffles feathers. We need some government mandates against billionaires. We need to outlaw billionaires. We need to force them to pay for all of the stuff that we should be getting from the government. We need to force our government to stop subsidizing these billionaires and spending all this money on wars. America should be a utopia that lights the way for the rest of the world. We should have the best healthcare that's free. We should have the best schools, the best colleges that are free. We should produce the most informed, intelligent, critical thinking populace that spreads peace and technology and service and helping out our fellow man all over the planet. But we don't. We spread war. We spread toxic capitalism. We spread racism. We've got the number one opioid addiction. We have obesity epidemic. We have people filing bankruptcy because they don't have health insurance. We have people dying because they don't have health insurance. We have the military that is the number one polluter in the world. All right. But maybe it's time to go buy a Tesla, right? Shave your knuckles for justice. Maybe it's time to just lease a luxury car, right? For one of your $1 million homes. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. We are still in our 9th month of demonetization from YouTube. So support what we're doing at patreon.com/Graham Elwood or rockfin.com/Graham Elwood, which is a blockchain cryptocurrency platform. It's free to sign up, and there's a premium level at $10 a month. And for that, you get everybody on the platform's premium content. Myself, Lee Camp, Ron Placone, Jimmy Dore, Whitney Webb, Kim Iverson, Abby Martin, and many, many others. You can also support what we're doing at Venmo at Graham-Elwood and go to GrahamElwood.com. We have a PayPal button and a PO box. I also have crypto wallets, which are all in the show notes. Thanks for supporting what we do.